You fast forward, Cardi B in the rebound relationship with Stephon Diggs. And I say rebound because, again, you come from a marriage, and now after that, typically is the let your hair down phase. The next man, I'm not going to take it very seriously. I'm just going to kind of go with the flow. That's culturally what happens, right? Oh, I'll go with the flow. I'm not going to take it too serious. I was in a serious relationship and it didn't work out, so now I'm just having fun. And that's kind of what Cardi B called it, right? Um, but, or so that's what we thought. Sometimes the celebrities actually say things, and then sometimes we just speculate and put words into their mouth. So I can't say that I saw her say that, but that's the public consensus. Can we agree on that? Whether it's right or wrong, that's at least what we all know their relationship to be. And so obviously when you mix in the kid, it makes it a lot more complicated and a lot more chaotic. And this all kind of culminates at the Super Bowl. And this is not to suggest that their story overall is over, but right now they're obviously on a break. They unfollowed each other on Instagram, as is the way that you say you weren't dating someone or that you weren't friends with anyone or with a particular person today, right? I guess in my time you changed your Facebook status, right? But now you just unfollow them and kind of let the chips fall where they may. And so what that means, technically, culturally, is that they're broken up right now, which is so weird. Let's stop. Let's pause. Right. Let's pause. Let's pause right there, and let's ask ourselves. I want to know this from the women's perspective. Do you enjoy this level of relationships more? Do you enjoy relationships that are so loose and so fancy and so open to interpretation that it can be publicly acknowledge that a relationship is over simply because someone unfollowed you on a social media platform? Now, I'm not saying or putting into Stephon and Cardi B's mouth that that's the way that they told each other. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that that's like what they told each other, how they broke the news to one another. But what I am saying is that it's like it just seems a lot less free, a lot less serious. When you can follow and unfollow someone that marks the ending of your relationship. It's like unfollowing them on social media. It seems less, I don't know, it seems less secure, Like you can unfollow me, you can swipe past me, you can block me in a matter of seconds. Is that how easy it is to end relationships nowadays? It's like what I'm saying. Nevertheless, there is a story being told, and the truth is somewhere in between his side of the story and her side of the story, and all the unnamed sources that you hear telling these stories. But what happens at the Super Bowl is Stephon Diggs has another companion who is also a mother of one of his children there, and I think I'll let you do your own research on what happened there and who's in the right or who's in the wrong. But what I really want to get to is the idea that this model doesn't work. It's a model that it's a model that just doesn't work. It's not a winning recipe for the type of relationships that people really want. It's what I'm really kind of getting at. And I'm asking and telling, I guess. Let me know in the comments what you think. But I don't think that these are the types of relationships that people enjoy while they're in them. And now we're seeing that you know, they end in a way that is really kind of hard to put lipstick on, if you know what I'm saying. And so if you come in the name of fun, then that's fine, but you can't explain the kid, right? Um, and so I guess we're pausing today to acknowledge that this isn't a winning model for the culture. It's not a winning model for Cardi B and for her family. And certainly you let her tell it. She's got enough money to make it all go away. I'm sure that's her response. That's fine. I'm neither here nor there. I'm not a therapist. But what I'm saying to you, normal person who isn't a famous rapper, who doesn't have $1 million lawyers, who doesn't have all of this going on, right? Who doesn't have cameras and paparazzi that has interest in your every move. You, normal person, you better be careful with how you model your life after these people, because This is not a winning model. It's not a winning model. And I understand this does not, absolve Offset of what he did. This does not absolve Cardi B. I mean, Stephon Diggs, and really even Cardi B for that matter. I guess this is more about who has to carry the baggage forward, right? For all intents and purposes. Now we know that Offset has been clowned by Selena Powell a couple of times. Like, yeah, that takes a hit on the ego, especially given what he does. So much of what he does is about the ego, blah blah blah, right? So of course he takes a hit. Stephon Diggs, it's going to be hard to be an outstanding grandfather, having been a ladies' man so much all these years. So obviously his name and reputation takes a hit. But who has to raise the kids day for day, right? And who has to deal with the public scrutiny and the public failure? I think the woman bears that more than the men do. Again, this is probably just a case study, just an example, and so many variables in their lives would make their situations different than ours, right? And not applicable, if you will. But I think what we are also doing, and I don't think we're acknowledging it, is that we're taking the models of these people's lives and we're using it for ourselves. And I want to just remind you that the Cardi B model has failed. It's failed. It's not a winning model. This relationship, this, fly by the, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of go with the flow and what happens, happens. It's not a winning model. I'm probably, if I'm her therapist, and I'm not, I'm recommending some time, right, after a breakup like that or something. But you fast forward 2 years, if that, out of a divorce, and you've got a child with someone else. Again, because of what she has to say, I'm sure she'll say it's not a problem. The child is the least of the issues. Nevertheless, when you have a child with someone, I think it's fair to acknowledge culturally we're still wired to want a family, to want that to work, to want it to not fall apart, right? And even if it's not official, we still want what it is to stay intact. And that's not what has taken place here. So I want to ask you if it's a winning model. I don't think it is. But let me know if you think the Cardi B model is a winning model. I personally believe that Cardi B failed you, ladies. Is personally what I think. We'll be right back.